Hi, this is Rachelle with Journal Life's Journey, and I'm going to be doing a washi tape masterboard. This is something that I have done a little bit on my other channel, SCRAPCRAFTASTIC, which is linked in the description box below. After questions, multiple questions about how I used my extra washi tape, so when I'm doing a planner spread, I have little bits and pieces of washi tape that I cut off, and I had a lot of questions about what I was doing with that washi tape. Even though I was using it in a different way so that my audience could actually see how I was using it, I came up with the washi graveyard, and this is all of them that I've created so far. One of these, or this one here, this is the one that's actually been sealed with Mod Podge. The others have not been sealed, but I'm continuing to make them to use in my junk journals as journaling cards or tags. Eventually I will seal all of them and cut them up and use them that way. And then this one here is the one that I am filling up right now. So with that theme in mind, I decided to try it with more of my vintage style washi tapes. And I don't have a lot of them. I have a pretty extensive washi tape collection, but most of my washi tape is blinged out, foiled, specialty washi tapes. So I have just a few here of vintage style washi tapes, and I am going to use them to create a washi tape masterboard, or in this case it's not really a graveyard, I'll just call it a masterboard. So I'm just going to use bits and pieces of the washis that I have in this little storage container, and I'm just going to cover this parchment style cardstock with the washi tape. I'm using this piece because it had some bends and a little damage to it, so I decided to go ahead and use this one to cover. And I'm just going to use the glue stick to make sure that the washi tape stays in place. And because my lawn man is here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on some music and get started. Okay, also this washi here, as you can see how it just tears by itself, this washi is dry rotted, so I need to use it quickly before I can't even tear off any of it. And I don't know why some washi does that and some washi doesn't over time, but this one is doing it, so I really need to get as much use out of it as possible. Even this little slither, I'm gonna go ahead and use it. Okay, so I think that is covered fairly well. And I'm just going to use my scraper here to make sure everything is burnished down. And I'm not doing this on the front because since the washi tape is going in all different directions, I don't want it to catch on a piece and pull it off. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean up my space, and then we'll get ready to start trimming down and cutting it up into pieces. So we are back, and this is the washi Masterboard. I am going to go ahead and trim the edges. It has had a little time to dry. Try not to cut the cardstock. And let's get these little pieces off. And then I can always come back and trim up if I need to once I cut everything. So now I'm just going to trim this first in half on the 8.5 inch side. So half would be 4 1/4. And then I'm going to trim out some tags. Let's see. Let's do 2.5 inches for this one. This one. Let's make these 2 journaling cards. So it's 6 inches left. So I'm going to trim at 3. So we got 2 journaling cards there. Then this one, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. Let me see, will she... I probably should have turned this over so that I couldn't see. But I did want to make sure I didn't destroy. I'm going to make this tag a little wider so that I don't cut off the girl. That was my main concern. And then we'll make this one a little narrower. And then this will be journaling cards. Let's make sure that's 6 inches again. It is. So let's trim at 3. Okay. So from that one sheet, we get 1. Which way do I want this to go? 2, 3. I don't know which way to go. 4 journaling cards. And then we get how many tags? We get a couple of odd sizes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 tags. So for the tags, I'm going to use the We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper that has the angles. And I'm going to use the large angle. And I see I need to do some trimming. I think this one is the one that probably will need the most help because it's kind of plain. This. And I wasn't sure about the washi tape with the characters on it, but I think it came out okay. Now for these, do I want to round the corners? Let's get this random washi piece off. I think I will. So I'm going to use the We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper and use the 1/2 inch, no, the 1/4 inch to round the corners. Can go ahead and punch the hole. So I'll find the center on these because I just want to make sure that I punch the hole in the right place. And I'm just using my mat to find the center. I am not very good at eyeballing the center. And then if I choose to back these later, I can always come in and repunch the hole. If I want to put hole reinforcers on this, I can do all of that. I can go ahead and put in an eyelet or leave them as is. And you can do that with a regular hole punch too, by the way. So now we have some bases that we can decorate or use as is. Then the edges can be inked depending on what ink you need to use for whatever project you're working on. It doesn't look like I really need to back these. They're fairly neat on the back, so that's good. And I could even do some stamping on them if I choose to. So for this one is also a little plain. The butterfly is upside down on this one. So I would probably come in and add something to this one as well as this one. All of these 3 tags and these 3 journaling cards would go in my stash and just be ready for me to use whenever I need them. So let's see what we can do with these two. I am going to go ahead and ink the edges on these. And I think I will use walnut stain. If I can get the ink pad out. So I'll use walnut stain. That's one that I've been kind of partial to lately. So let's go with that one. The washi tape doesn't really take to the ink very well. I could probably use archival ink to do it, and it might work better on the washi, but I'm okay with just a little bit that it does accept. And again, the inking isn't necessary. I just like the way that it looks, especially when I'm doing something that has a vintage feel. I like to ink it up a bit. Okay, let's see, did I put any ink around here? Let's do that area too. Okay, let me grab a few things from my stash and see what I've got to decorate these up. Okay, so I found these pieces. I got these 2 die cut butterflies and this teeny tiny little bumblebee. This is a number that I just stamped on some coffee stained paper. I have quite a few of these in my stash just to use whenever. This is a die cut flower, just to add a little something to this. I'm not sure how I'm going to lay these items out yet. Maybe like this, and I'm not sure that I'll use the butterfly. But again, I want to keep it pretty generic so that I can use it in pretty much any journal or folio or whatever I'm making. So let's get out the walnut stain again, and I'm not going to cut the offset, the white offset off of these. I'll just ink it and go from there. Feel like that might need a word, but I don't need to really ink the bumblebee. Let's tear some of this off so we don't have completely straight edges. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and start gluing these down. I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue. Oh, I don't want them to go the same direction. So kind of like that. Put down the 4. Kind of hide that upside down butterfly. And I'll probably come back and put some type of word or label on here. But again, I'm trying to keep it generic. So whenever I put it in a journal. So for now, I'm just adding a little interest to a card that was kind of blah. Okay, so there's that one. And you can add lace, trim, so many different things you can do once you have that base done. And I think these butterflies are from an Artie Mays kit. I'm not sure. Okay. So I'm thinking I changed my mind on the number up there. Or should it go down here? Then where's my flower gonna go? Like on the edge of that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these down. Wish I had a little difference in size here, but do I want to flip it this way? I think that works better with it going that way. Okay, again, just adding a little more decorative interest to this. Could come in and put a word here, add some lace here, put the eyelet in, and of course put your pull in. But that is a start. So that is what we created today with some vintage style washies. Just a few rows of washi, a piece of cardstock and glue stick. I did go ahead and add some very minor decorations to these two pieces because they were the plainest of the bunch. Just to give them a little pizzazz, I did ink the edges on these as well. But these are bases that I can decorate and add to for pretty much any journal. Whatever I add to them can coordinate with that journal. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll holler at y'all next time. Bye.